Okay folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about packing up the Tommy camper. So I've just got back from a big trip. There were a few bits and pieces that I did through the trip where I thought, oh yeah, that'll make a video somewhere down the track. One of them was after camping for a couple of nights at Canopy Gorge. We packed up the camper from start to finish in real time. There were a couple of times where I got my wife to move the camera, so there's about all up maybe 20 seconds difference between real time and the time it actually took. So close enough to real time for me to be able to say real time with some confidence. So packing up the Tommy camper, that's the one we're going to have a look at today.
I'm Wayne Groomes. Join me as I share with you my passion for exploring the Aussie outdoors, the world's best beaches, the hidden gems in the bush, and all things four-wheel drive.
The first stage here is just to pack up all the things that need to go into the kitchen. So pack up all the things that need to go into the fridge and into the pantry. Empty the water out of the hose, you end up with a little flood in the back of your pantry. That lower level is just my burner. The hose goes on top of it. I shove it through a few tea towels in there just to stop them rattling around. So the reason I bought this camper, and I did some extensive research before buying this camper, and you'd want to, when you're spending or investing this sort of money. The camper, with all its bits, just so you know, cost me around $38,000, and that includes a suspension upgrade that was required to be able to put this on the back of my car. So for $38,000, you want to be sure when you buy it that you're going to use it for the next however many years. That bin you see me putting away there, I'm looking for a spot at the moment on the car that can live on a permanent basis, hopefully behind that back door. At the moment I'm hanging it over the front bull bar, using the aerial as a point to hold it. But what that means is I've got to move it every time I move the car. That's the kitchen pantry. Goes in the back of the truck first, being the biggest item, then everything's packed around it. I am looking at changing these pantry boxes. The shape of them they're really awkward. They're an awkward height and they're an awkward shape for the Tommy. I'm looking around to get something a little bit smaller, a little bit lower, so that I can stack too high, and more square on the sides so I don't lose the space with the angle of the sides. So if you've got some ideas for me in relation to a good pantry type box for the back of the Tommy, let me know in the comments. Two of us travelling on this trip, so the back seat's taken up with all my camera gear on the driver's side. The passenger side was basically just a space for bags and bits. A table that I've just pushed in there I'll take on the bigger trips, but on the small trips that won't come along now. I've modified the side of my truck on the under the kitchen, and I've put a little shelf in there that will double as a little table, and that's all I'll need, I think. So a little bit about the channel. As a lot of you would know, I've got a fishing channel, and that's going great guns, and that won't stop. I'm going to keep that going. What I'm trying to do is to get I hesitate when I say four-wheel driving channel. It's not a four-wheel driving channel. It's a travel channel. It's an overlanding channel. I happen to be in a four-wheel drive, and I require a four-wheel drive to be able to get to some of the places I be going. But it's not the sort of four-wheel drive channel that you'll watch with Sean Whale and Andrew Cahill. Those guys, they do some crazy stuff, and it's very entertaining, but I can't afford to keep fixing my truck the same way they can afford to keep fixing their truck. Love their videos, totally suggest you check out their channels and subscribe, but that's not the sort of video that I'll be doing. What I'll be doing is I'll be traveling, and as I travel, I'll be telling stories about places that I go, places that I've been. Now to take the awning down. This strap, eventually I'll have a tie down point a little bit closer than where it is, but at the moment I'm just using one of the hook points for the roof. That there is just to put a bit of pitch in the top of the roof to help with the breeze and the leaves and the rainwater. Giving them a shake here just to get rid of whatever leaves are left over. hardest part about putting this 270-degree awning away is the next bit. I've got to search for the Velcro straps from the top. Now at the top, as you push this awning in, they tuck themselves down behind that awning, so you've got to find them and then pull them out from the back there. Because I'm a little bit vertically impaired, short, that's not an easy task. You might wonder, why don't you just take it off the chocks? Well, that means I've got to take the back steps, shut the door and put the back steps up, and to be honest with you, I'm a bit lazy. Probably should have done that. That just means I have to undo that to put the rest of the stuff away. So I'll eventually reach it here. A little bit about Carnarvon Gorge, where we are here. Well worth a visit, especially if you're into walking. Lots of tracks here to do for the beginner right up to the advanced. There's tracks there that you can do that'll only take you 20 minutes. There's also tracks there that'll take you for the entire day. And if you're keen, you can actually do overnighters. Mount Moffat through to Carnarvon, there is a track, but it definitely is an overnight. Once you get this first Velcro done up, the rest is pretty easy. But I'll let this run in real time so you can actually see how long it all takes, rather than just continue to walk you through what I'm doing. A bit of an overview on this awning. It's a 30-second awning, so it's supposed to go up in 30 seconds and down in 30 seconds. And in a perfect world, if you didn't have height against you, it would. But as you can see on this occasion, it's just a little bit too far up for me to reach comfortably, so it does take a little bit longer. The whole pack up from start to finish, it's 10 minutes. I think this video runs for just over 10 minutes. And as you can see, I'm working at a very normal, slow pace. I'm not hurrying. So a 10-minute pack up from start to finish, and that's everything. I'm pretty happy with that. There's 3 Velcro straps in total for the 270-degree awning, or the 30-second awning is the brand. This is the second one I'm putting on now. Should probably take it off chocks before I do this. Yeah. I'll be able to reach. The zip on the 30-second awning is it's not a bad zip, but it's not a great zip either. The teeth are sort of mid-range. They're not a really wide tooth and they're not a really fine tooth. It does zip up okay, but to get it started at times takes a little. So one of the things that a manufacturer might look at is just making that zip just a little bit more user-friendly. Not that it isn't user-friendly. I'm really trying not to be negative here, because it isn't a bad zip. It could be improved. The length of that strap, you can see I'm tucking away there, will be different for everybody. The strap's plenty long enough no matter what you need, but quite often it'll be shorter than the one I've got, because you won't have to go as far to actually secure it when you're putting it up. Once that's all zipped up, there's a Velcro flap at the front that just flaps over the zip, just to keep the weather and everything out of the zip, stop the bugs. The rubber mats I got from Bunnings, $6 each. I only had one for the trip, and I went back to Bunnings after I got home and bought a second one. They're so good. Great for the shower, great for putting at the steps. You lose a lot of the crap that's on your boots when you've got them at your steps, or before you get into your sleeping arrangement. The chairs are pretty much the last thing to be packed up, or the last major thing. They just sit on the floor because they're always the first thing out when you want to stop somewhere. Inside the car, we leave everything on the bed. So all the sheets, everything stays on the bed. The computer equipment that we're using for the trip all stays on the bed. And once that's all nice and flat and even, it's just a matter of pulling down on the 2 handles that are up there, and the roof's secured after I latch it on the outside. I'm not sure how Tommy Campers did it, but they've made it so that when you pull that roof down, all the sides fold in toward the bed. They don't fold out. I'm not sure what causes that or how it's constructed to make it do that, but it's pretty awesome. There's nothing around the outside. There's no bungee strap. There's nothing that causes it to want to come in, but it does. So the latch on that corner, just watch me do with the milk crate. It's the only place I need a milk crate. The rest of it I just use the runners on the car or the steps at the back. The chairs that I'm about to put away here, the brand's Wanderer. To be honest with you, I've had them for so long that I have no idea where I got them from. But they're great chairs. You can sit in these chairs and they don't hurt the under part of your leg. A lot of the chairs you buy, you go and buy chairs and you sit in them for 5 seconds and you think, oh yeah, this is alright. You really need to sit in them for a half hour and see how the back of your legs feel before you pick a chair. These chairs are great. Last look around the car, and close up the back door. It's a double seal on all the doors and the roof. Just drive it off its chocks now, throw the chocks in the back seat, and the packup's complete. Ladder goes up, locks in. They are lockable there. I do have padlocks for the back ladder. I'll just drive it off the chocks here. The chocks go on the back seat, and that brings us to the end of the video. As you can see, total video time is about 10 or 11 minutes. Very easy pack up and a very normal speed. And that there's the pack up at Carnarvon Gorge. I really do appreciate you watching. I hope you got something out of the video. Tommy Campers, excellent product. Subscribe to the channel for me, hit that like button, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care. And that's a pack up done.